Hi, my name is Eric Stavola, and I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to better understand what Ricoh can do for you as it relates to empowering a digital workplace. You know, in our last webinar series, we talked about empowering a digital workplace, and the concept of a digital workplace is a journey. We believe it's a journey to digital transformation that starts with the digital workplace being a business strategy. And it's a business strategy to directly do three things: help you better engage your employees, and more importantly, your clientele, but then better leverage information and technology. Start shifting it simply from a cost center to a strategic asset of the organization. And then lastly, how can we better optimize, automate workflows and processes as an organization? When we start talking about Ricoh and this concept of empowering a digital workplace, it becomes a journey to shift your focus from document focus to data focus to ultimately this end user focus. And at Ricoh, we want to bring more value to the business in 4 key areas, whether that's through, total output management as it relates to print, or to improve maybe your digitization processes as you start to convert paper to digital information to help with speed to act? Or is it about optimizing and improving business processes in an organization? Or at a corporate level, do we want to provide more insight to your overall strategy where you can easily access and analyze the data you need to make better data-driven decisions? At Ricoh, when we put all this together, we talk about that as empowering a digital workplace. And we are uniquely qualified to help you in any phase of the transformation by providing both print and IT digitalization services. When we hear this concept of digital transformation or digitalization, there is none of that if we don't get the core foundation of print and digitize correctly. Now, the reason we lump these together is when we started having digital MFPs, we started converting hard copy documents into digital format. And for us, right, we kind of break up 3 key areas that is fundamental to establishing this baseline. Managed print services, allowing us to look at the overall infrastructure as it relates to print, not only from a hardware level, but from an application and infrastructure level, and to reduce the burden and the technical debt that's being thrown at your IT staff. From customer communication, management, and mail, this is where we want to help improve the customer experience, right? Every day you're getting inundated with information, whether that's through package, letter, and how can we better relate that information and get it into the hands of the people that need it, but also get the information out to the clientele. That's important. And then not just document management, but true content management, where you want to leverage your information to flow freely across the organization, to have access anytime, anywhere with the confidentiality and security that's needed. Once that's been established, we want to make sure that we're providing an opportunity to help optimize and insight through this concept of digitalization, where it's taking when we digitize information, but then also the enabling technologies around it. There was a recent statement by John Chambers, the executive of Cisco, that said that 40% of all businesses will die in the next 10 years if they don't figure out how to change their entire organization by accommodating new technologies. If they don't understand how to transfer and digitize and create better business processes to automate and streamline workflows, that will affect the bottom line. So for us, what's very important and some fundamental services to help in this area is business process services, where we look at, not just systems, but people systems, workflow systems, process systems, and how can we make that more lean and agile to improve outcome and help control costs so you can focus more on the overall business. Workplace productivity for us is about work style intelligence. We want to provide you tools and technologies to help your workflows be more collaborative and productive, and then maximize the office space, regardless of where that office space may be. And from an IT standpoint, we're a world-class services company. And while our services started from a hardware focus, we've been uniquely positioned over the years to expand not only from a hardware standpoint, but from an IT standpoint. Ricoh has made 18 key IT acquisitions globally and has not only grown organically their skills in IT services, but through acquisition. So we can provide you state-of-the-art cloud and data center and infrastructure services, as well as world-class support services for companies looking to become more agile and increase their overall performance to offset overall burden and resources. And lastly, for us, we want to be able to help you at a corporate level to take empowering a digital workplace where we're providing you not only the strategy and insight, but the value exchange to challenge that mental model of a workplace. For us, most of our conversations come back to these 6 areas. When we look at building a framework for transformation, we want to look at your organization and break it up into 4 areas: strategy, structure, skills, and systems. Then around that, we want to have conversations of how you're actually applying, from an analytics. How are you letting data work for you? Can you, in your organization, tell you what did happen, what will happen, or how can you make it happen? We talked about how important the business process is, but not just from, digitizing one workflow or system, but truly automating multiple areas of the organization to help ultimately become more agile and better speed to act. From an information governance standpoint, we want to look at people, process, technology, and standards and see where we can improve from a confidentiality, integrity, and availability standpoint, but also how we make sure that now, while we make things available, we are complying overall from a governance standpoint. And, nothing means anything that we deploy technology if we're not able to get users to adopt it. And user adoption is very, very critical. And while we focus on user adoption, sometimes organizations today are looking to expand their resources through a shared services model. And from an IT perspective, we know that that is a portion of every single conversation. So we want to make sure that we provide that support if and where needed. Now, why is Ricoh talking about empowering a digital workplace? I think if you ask that question, I think you want to understand the power of Ricoh. Yeah, most people think of Ricoh as just simply a hardware or a manufacturer company. They're an innovation company. USA Today talked about number 30 of the top 50 most innovative companies in the world. Ricoh holds over 48,000 patents. Last year alone, over 1,200. And if you start to look at the data, it's pretty impressive about what Ricoh can provide. Now, for us, our main goal is to simply change the perception of Ricoh for you so we can change the conversation. We don't want to just talk about digital transformation or empowering a digital workplace. We want to help you define and develop what that looks like for you and your organization. And we're willing to come in and devote some resources to better understand some key requirements that you may need to help envision what your current state is and future state is in order for you to not only identify strategic goals and initiatives, but more importantly, identify current gaps you may have. And then provide better visibility and insight to help validate your business objectives and develop recommendations and next steps. For us, when we talk about empowering a digital workplace, what we want to do is be more relevant to your organization. And in order to do that, we know we have to approach our customers a little differently than we've done in the past. So we'd love to be able to take time to be able to come in and devote our resources and have a whiteboard session with you. What we want to do out of this whiteboard session is very clear. We want to understand 2 things. What's impacting your business today in the next year to 6 months? And then what are some key objectives you want to achieve down the road? We have a methodology and framework that we want to come in. We'll give you kind of a framework depending on the concept or what it may be. We'll use that framework as a baseline for the conversation. And then that allows us in that conversation to start identifying current and future state for you and your organization. And really what we're saying there is that maturity model. Hey, where are you today and where do you want to go down the road? And then we're able to take that conversation and identify not just one, but multiple initiatives that you have on your plate, and then to provide you better visibility and insight to not only enhance those initiatives, but prioritize those initiatives. And then that gives us enough information to come back with real data that we say gives you better visibility into how you can actually act upon or move forward, better insight to not only what's happening around through market intelligence, but also how to better leverage your information and technology, and then some recommended paths that you can bring to the table. We hope we get the opportunity to meet with you and your teams. I'd welcome a phone call if you'd like me to elaborate on anything we talked about today. I appreciate your time and look forward to further conversations with you and your team. Thank you very much for your time. Have a wonderful day.